look at him. Looking at him. Sorry.
Okay. Hey ladies, hey ladies, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. I'm so excited, y'all. We have Clarice, Julious here today. Can you say hi to the ladies?
Hi, ladies. I feel like we got to say hey. Like, when we all link
Hey.
up, ladies, we like, hey, girl, hey.
Right? Hey. So I'm so excited she's here. This is our first time having a singer on the show, you guys. Yes, she's our first singer. She's a songwriter, you guys, an actor, a performer, a mom, and she also works in corporate America. So she's going to tell us a little bit more about herself. So, Clarice, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm originally from a place called Andrews, South Carolina, and that's considered a rural area. It's not one of the metropolitan or city areas. It's very small. And so I come from that small neighborhood. We definitely go into church. The church is definitely on the agenda for the week because you got Bible study. If it's the summertime, you got vacation Bible school, and you're going to be there on Sunday too. So that's the background that I come from. I've always sung throughout elementary school, and then in high school I kind of didn't sing that much. But then when I got to college, that fire started back up because I went to Columbia College. At the time, it was an all-girls school, and so I was on Columbia College chorale, the show choir, the gospel choir, and then my father passed away when it was my sophomore year of college. And that's when I started writing poetry, and somehow that led into the writing songs. Cause it was kind of it was emotional time. I think I always had a lot of emotions, but I had kind of suppressed them, but it was I couldn't really handle them during that time. And so that's when I started writing. And so I was 19 then. I'm a little I always tell people I'm grown. I got chin hair going on now because I got chin hair. So I moved into a new space. Okay. Don't start with me because so I just continue. Once I started writing poetry, I just wanted to write. I didn't have when I'm out amongst other singers and entertainers, I see they have their father with them or their husband or just somebody that guided them. I didn't have that. I wanted to write and sing, and I did it. I took at the time I was working for Department of Social Services. Not that was my 9 to 5 job then, and I just took my money and went in the studio with it, and I wrote the song. I asked guys that went to my church, the musicians, to come to the studio with me to play, and that was it. I didn't know what a rollout was. I didn't know a strategic plan to roll out your music. I didn't have a clue about that. I just wanted to sing and write, and I went for it, and I had people that I asked, and they supported me. And the first song was Happy, and that was 2011. And so I started the journey then, but I had to learn a lot. But I learned through trial and error, hands-on trial and error.
Yes, I love that. And I love a few things that you said. I love the fact that you said that you got mentorship. You said you started your entrepreneur journey and you didn't know where to start. You didn't have a strategy, right? All you knew was you were singing throughout college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then something tragic happened. And I'm sorry to hear about your dad passing away, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
turned that pain into purpose, right? And you start writing. So,
Mm-hmm.
what motivated you to start singing publicly and performing publicly on these big platforms? Because I saw you performing. It looked like a dinner, like a women's conference. I saw you. So, what
So,
motivated you to do that?
okay, so I'm gonna say I always I'm definitely one of those people that as a kid I was in my room with the hairbrush singing. I always got a concert in the car. That's just been me throughout my whole life. I've always been a little theatrical, a little dramatic. My mom kept me in dance class. She didn't. I sung at church, on the children's choir, but she kept me in dance class. So that's a lot of costumes, theatrics, recitals. I love stuff like that. I've always liked that. And then moving forward, I would say God opened the door because I know around about 2020, the Big DM radio station in Columbia, South Carolina had a women's expo, and that was one of my favorite. That was a big platform. It was one for me at the time. It was one of the bigger platforms that I had done, but it felt so good because you could feel the energy from these ladies, and I mean, it was a group of like just different ages, but you could feel that energy. And I was able to be a part of a Shaka Khan tribute, and my song was "Ain't Nobody." And so then it was me and a couple of other ladies that sung, and we all got back on stage and did I'm Every Woman. And the young lady that was leading it, she said, honey, God gave you that sexiness. You're naturally beautiful, and that came from God. And it turned into Shaka Khan lit to, okay, we praising the Lord and we singing I'm Every, okay, then like, and so that's why I'm just like, whether I'm singing at church or a lounge, it is God who makes it a moment, because there's good singing, and then there's times when it's a moment when everybody just feels this energy. And now the trendy phrase is it's lit, it's up, it's always, but it's really God that does it, because it's many singers and they don't consistently get those moments. But when like it's God, and it's God who opens the doors for me to be on different platforms. Because sometimes, even now, like I've had consultants and just like different leadership or partnerships, but when things come together, it's always God that opens these doors for me and allows me to get on some of the platforms that I've been on.
I love that. And I love how you just talked about God and spirituality. Why
Mm-hmm.
is it so important for you to bring your belief system into what it is that you do with your singing? Because I've heard some of your songs on YouTube. Y'all go check out the link, okay? This woman can sing, right? And she sings some really spiritual songs. So why is that so important for you to incorporate that in your passion?
Mm. So I feel like it's just like the scripture says, seek ye first
Mm.
God, and all these things will be added. Now let me just give this disclaimer. Um Sometimes I got to remind myself, because sometimes I already took off and it's like, whoop, hold up, let me back it up and let
Mhm.
me seek him, because sometimes I get caught up in my own agenda and I can get selfish, and I could tell when I'm getting like that, because sometimes when things are just not lining up, it's taking a bit, and I stop for a minute and get in prayer, and I promise you, the right DM, the right phone call, the Lord can hop in your DMs too. So because but it's important though, just that's where my heart is. Like I sing a lot of different places and we do cover songs, and but as far as the music that comes from me as a writer and as what I want to put out on my platforms, like as far as platforms that I control, the streaming platforms, the YouTube, all that stuff, that's another streaming platform. But I want it to be inspirational, positive, yet fun songs that come from me as a writer. Now, when we put a show together and we do cover songs, of course, we want them to have a good time, and we pick songs that we know will go for the audience, whether it be jazz, old school R&B, old school, even some alternative rock stuff. We pick things that we know will work for the audience for the sake of giving a great show. But
Mhm.
still, we are asking the Spirit of God take over, because when He does, you never know who's in the audience, whether it be at a lounge or a church, that what you say or what you sing is like pulling them through for the night. That's gonna get their mind like in this place of peace. And the Bible talks about peace that surpasses all understanding. And we know people need it, y'all, because people are going through. So even at a lounge, I'm not beating the tambourine or nothing, but I'm encouraging the ladies. Look here, put your pocketbook away, or be a lady tonight. Let your hair down. Let your wig slide back. That was
Just a
sorry. I
little
probably
bit, just a little bit.
that was a joke, but still, ladies, be a lady, relax, because sometimes we forget because we're just trying to maintain. Even when we don't have children, sometimes we're just trying to hold it together for our sister, our aunt, or even our parents. Some of us, we're raising our parents, and so whatever it is, when it comes to my ladies, that's what's on my heart. That's my business is called Queen ID LLC, and so I'm always about empowering women. That is where my heart is. And so and God has got to be at the center of that, because I might not have it to give them, but if God gives it to me, then I can give it to somebody else.
I love that. And I loved how you talked about, and to me, this is what it sounded like. You talked about healing through music,
Hmm.
right?
For
Just being
sure.
able to sometimes, like, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite artists is Beyonce, right? And
Uh-huh.
sometimes I can just, she's my, like a musical inspiration. We'll talk about your musical inspiration next. But sometimes I can just listen to one of her songs and be like, you know what? Everything is going to be okay. Everything, or I'll listen to some music and start dancing, and it's just that freedom of expression and movement. And you can just hear it. Like today, I was watching on TikTok. She's in Sweden right now, and she
Hmm.
did
I
her
saw.
first performance. You saw it, and she
Hmm.
did her first performance. And one of the things you talked about is empowerment. And she
Hmm.
said, you can be on this stage. She said, it's going to take a lot of blood. It's going to take a lot of sweat. It's going to take a lot of tears. And sometimes it's going to take a lot of disappointment, but you can be on this stage. And thank you, because this is my dream. And what a lot of people don't understand is the things that we do, what I do as a life and business coach, what
Hmm.
she do as a singer, these are our dreams. It's our passion,
Yep.
right?
Yes, ma'am. Hmm.
And for you, what are some of the struggles that you've had so far in entrepreneurship? And who is your musical inspiration?
Okay, so let's do the good news. So, okay, let's do inspiration first. My
Okay.
musical inspiration. So, like starting out, it was like Karen Clark Sheard, and then it was like Mary J. Blige was my favorite, and Lauryn Hill. And then here lately, not well, yeah, like I would say college and moving forward, it was like Fantasia. Cause I look to kick your shoes off. Go from church to Purple Rain or Purple Rain to church. I love all of that. I'd say I took a songwriting class during COVID, and the teacher is Victory Boyd, and she just I got to do a Victory Boyd plug. She just put out her album. It's called Glory Hour, so y'all go check out Glory Hour. But Victory was my songwriting teacher, and she became a mentor and friend. And her faith, the way she's so bold about her faith, and when you listen to her music, it's not traditional at all, but I mean, it's definitely a message in there. And the production, I love the production for her album Glory Hour. So, and just even things she's done before that. But she's definitely a musical inspiration to me and a mentor.
I love that. And what are some of the challenges you've had in entrepreneurship?
Ooh, all right. So the
Just a
first thing,
few.
you know what? Okay, so the first thing was just I knew I needed to invest in myself, right? Because
Yeah.
people say that. But I was like spending money that I didn't need to spend. And so just knowing what you already have and not feeling like you need, like, you do need like maybe a financial advisor. Well, it depends on how big your company is before you start plugging into these things. And then I had paid for a consultant like more than one time. And actually, one of my friends was like, Clarice, you just spending money because you lazy. And I was like, what? Like, kind of, what you mean? Like, they was like, you could do this stuff yourself. And they were right. Once I like looked at the books and different stuff, I was like, why am I spending money? Because I really didn't have, like, I had a little bit more content, but it was also stuff that I could have done myself if I had scheduled the right time. So it was a struggle. I have, and I'm still learning to be disciplined so that I can like not spend money on certain stuff and do it myself. But then the other thing about learning to do it myself was you do need a team. A one man show is just like you may not have the reach you need. It's hard when it's just, there have been times it's just been me. I wrote the song, I sung the song, I was at the studio by myself, I did the background, I didn't engineer. Kenny McWilliams has always been the person that was in the studio with me, and also Julious Rich Williams. But I sung it, wrote it, then they said, oh, you need a stylist. I didn't have a stylist. So I honestly like Googled and like pulled looks for photo shoots. And then, I come from church. So then it was just like, but why you look like that? And so it was kind of like, and I had for a moment like almost leaned into people pleasing, but I had to yank myself out of that because it can make you stagnant. You get focused on pleasing people. And I know it sounds small, but I'm telling you, it's the little things that'll overtake you if you don't monitor that and really like catch yourself and take your power back. So just like it was a struggle to find, I had to take some time and really learn myself and be like, this is me and I'm solid in this. And I have peace about it with me and with God. And then two, I had to learn like just the discipline of where did I need to spend my time and my money, because some things I did.
Mm.
And we all, I realized that with other people that I'm around too. It's like, you don't, I promise you there's another way to do that. And you don't even have to spend money, especially not everything. There's a free webinar. There's all these things. If you look them up, if you make the right phone call, I mean, you can go to these different classes, and there's grants, there's different funding, or if you know how to word the right verbiage, there's sponsorships. There's just a lot of different things and a lot of different ways to access, people and platforms, but use it the right way. So I don't know, I might said a mouthful. I'm long-winded. You gotta
No, that all makes sense. Like you said, it's important to invest in yourself. Whether you invest in with your own finances or you're
Mhm.
investing in going to free webinars, free seminars. I spent like probably hundreds of thousands probably over the years,
I know.
on personal development, right? On business sales skills, on growth. Like I've been to other countries just to go to meetings. I went to Trinidad because it was some of my mentors had went over there for meetings, and I would just fly over there, just to be in the front row of the people who inspire me, right? Who are my mentors, who are guiding me. So it's always important, like you said, to invest in yourself. And sometimes you are going to spend a lot of money, and you
Yeah.
because you're coming from a place where you don't know, you have no guidance. Just
Right.
like you, I create my flyers, I write out my questions for my show, I create the videos, I do the production, and then plus I have my coaching business where I help my students market their businesses. So it is a lot of work, but just like she said, once you get to a certain level, then you can have a team. Like she said, like she went online to look for stylists, right? So just because, and I just want to say this really quick, I started my business just with my cell phone and a PayPal. And that's how I started my life coaching business. So you don't have to have a lot of money to start a business. So eliminate all those excuses. I need a laptop. I need a computer. I need this. I
Mhm.
need that. You have a cell phone in your hand. Start your business, right? Eliminate distractions. Stop scrolling down social media aimlessly, right? And one of
Right.
the, go ahead.
No, I said right. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, and one of the things she talked about is self discipline, right? A lot of us, once we start our business, we're so used to corporate America that we have no structure. We're used to their structure. So it's a process to go from corporate America to entrepreneurship. So you actually have to create your own routines. Like for me, I have a morning routine. I wake up, I pray, I meditate, I read my emails, and then I walk for the day, and then I come back and start working. So you have to have office hours. If you work still in corporate America, work your corporate America, but in the evenings from 8 to 10 or 8 to 11, work your business. But you have to stay consistent with those schedules, right? And that's what's going to create that discipline, is that consistency with your schedule. But okay, so let's get
Yeah.
back on track.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. That's because these are nuggets for we came on here like, hey girl, hey, but so you could get to the hey girl, hey moments. It takes like this level of discipline. Like you have to start somewhere with it, and like even if it's just from 8 to 10 or 8 to 11, that you decide. Even if you're on social media, you are getting the information, or you're putting your content up. Because right now, the era we're in right now, content is king. So you are, if you're on being interviewed, you took a picture of it, you posted that, you, because it helps, it helps me, helps you. And so if you are on TikTok or what is Snapchat, all these different things, it's still about your business, whether that be engineering, culinary arts, whatever it is a method to it, to all of it. And so just,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that was that part was. And then to every, like, I know we moved on, but I just want to say this thing. When it came to music, right? When I first started, everything was like CDs. And so it was like you still put it on CD Baby, or you still went through CD Baby. And so now that was 2011. Now we in 2023. And everything is a streaming platform, right? So now you can still use CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, all these things. but just the discipline. Now, how do I use this stuff, and am I getting the most out of it? When I make an account on DistroKid and you upload your music and it puts it on all the streaming platforms, but are you getting all the incentives? Are you using all of it? Do you, just taking the time to learn how to maneuver through it all? That's a whole separate discipline. And then I had to recognize, okay, I'm always going to be learning something new, because things change, companies change the way they do stuff, and so just I have to ride the wave. And I had to learn how to do that too, because I was like, I didn't. Yeah, so it went back to just being comfortable with myself, just relax, so that I could like take things in and process it. And then now we can put out. And look, I'm not a stylist, but I studied enough, and I started, how they say, pull a look. I started like, I didn't wait till I had photo shoots. I shop all the time. Like, I don't shop aimlessly. Like, I intentionally, if I'm riding along and it's a yard sale, I will pull over and see what they got, because I always find like the cutest old dresses, sequin stuff, and just we can make something out of it. Or if I'm on Amazon or Shein, all the stuff, when they have a sale, you might think you don't want it. You could always put it with the blaze. Either way, I'm always like buying something, because I'll need that, or I can build from that. Even when it comes to look, because that's half the battle. I don't care what genre of music you're singing. A look is half of the show, half the battle. So just a learning, like being open to always learn and being disciplined. I guess those were.
Yes, I love that. And that's what I say. I am forever a student. Like,
Yep.
I don't see how people just stop learning. Every day I'm reading a different book, every single day. And then every night around 10 o'clock, I'll watch something for personal development, right? I take 1 hour each day to watch something for personal development and growth and training. So every day I'm learning, like she said, and it's a learning curve, right? So for me, I had to learn how to clip my own videos, right? I had to learn how to clip them and put titles to them and music behind it and post it on TikTok. So I had to learn that, and it was like a learning curve, right? But once I get to a certain level and I can hire somebody, I
Yeah.
already know how to teach them how to do it, right? So you have to learn so you can teach your staff so they don't go in blind, right? Like for styling, she know what kind of style she like, so she can teach whoever becomes her stylist about what it is that she like, and they can add their value to it as well. But anyways, let's move forward from that.
Okay.
Let's talk about networking, because you're big into networking and you have a networking event coming up. So can you tell us more about this networking event?
All right. So I started a business. I was already like, last year I did about 42 events. Let me not say gigs. I don't like that word, but events. Or, and so from there, it kept coming to me from different people. You should have your own business. You should. And I was like, well, I don't think I need that. But if I'm going to have my own business, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it my way. So I started a business called Queen ID. Like I was just telling y'all about, the Big DM had their women's expo, and I had a chance to open. And just that feeling of the ladies, like I said, it just felt so good. That was like a really great day for me. And I thought, I want to do more events like this for women, where the ladies come, we have men serve them. We haven't gotten to that yet, but that was what birthed the idea of me starting what I call Queen ID. And it's about identifying the queen in you through music education, music therapy, and music entertainment. So we have our first event. It's May 27th. That's Memorial Weekend. We wanted to give people, there's a couple of things going on that weekend, but this is an option for women in entrepreneurship. We are highlighting women who are entrepreneurs. And we have some vendors. Like there's a business called the Healing Bowl. She makes these creams and different oils, and she'll be there. I have Sweetie Pies. She makes a layered pie. It's like coconut and I think she said cream cheese. Is like different layers to a pie, but she's a woman that's in entrepreneurship. I met her right now. I'm going to be graduating, I think, next week. My minority business class. It's a business class that I took to just learn about building a business plan. And so I met her. She was in the class with me, and so she's going to be one of the vendors at the event. And then just other women who've like written books, different things like that. They're going to be there. It's a mixer. I tell everybody it's not a banquet. So there's not going to be a speaker of the night. None of that's happening. It is a mixer for to get all the ladies in a room, and it's going to be really nice. And then the closeout is me and the band performing. I had to throw that in there. Like I said, music education and entertainment. And when I say education, I know people are like, well, do you give vocal lessons? For kids, I do. I haven't started with adults yet. I'm more comfortable with the kids and just pulling. Sometimes it's just confidence out and them knowing their range. But that's music education. But also when it comes to women, I want them to be educated in the business of music. How are you handling that? If you are, like you said, you need to know the stuff so that even if someone is hired or somebody partners with you, you need to know if they're doing the right thing. You have to educate yourself. So that's a part of education. And I feel like a mixer is a way to share information so women are informed about their options. And then, of course, I could not leave without singing and performing. So the band, we're going to do a live show and it's gonna be fun. That's the mix. It's May 27th at Andrews, South Carolina. This is me doing my plug right now. Even if you're not in Andrews, South Carolina, and you want to support, I'm gonna give my QR code and all that good stuff. You can. It's on Eventbrite. Did that mess up something? Because it was
Yes, there you go. Go ahead. It's on
okay.
Eventbrite.
Yes, it's on Eventbrite. It will say women do great business too. That's the title of it. It's a women's networking mixer. So it's on Eventbrite. I'll have my QR code if you wanted to just cash app us or do a donation or buy a ticket. And then we will eventually stream the performance. But uh, just even if you want to send your information too so that women know, like maybe they can get virtual coaching session. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yes, I'll definitely send my information. So, two things I heard from her. Number one, it's important to network as a community, right? As a
Mhm.
community of women, right? Because we
Yes.
all have something that we have to offer to the world. We all have a gift, a talent, a skill, a service that we have to offer and that we can sell, right?
Hmm.
And number two, I just want a quick tip because I heard something that you said.
What?
You said, and a lot of ladies need to know this. You said you have 42 events last year. Now, give them tips on how they can get into an event. Like, how could they become a vendor or a speaker or a singer at an event? 42 events, that's amazing.
Thank you. Okay, so well, this is one thing I learned in music, and I would guess chefs. Everything you do, you're auditioning for next year. You have to start thinking that way. I don't care if you sung at church. Somebody in there is gonna have a birthday party, a banquet, something. So a lot of the events I got, Seven Sunday I had done last year, and so that was that they air that on WLTX. It's aired in Florida, a couple other different places. So just like people being able to communicate. So now, whenever you do, even if you sing at church, having your business card, something as simple as that. And now that QR code is so important. On my card is um is a QR code that takes you to my YouTube page. Of course, your email, my email address, my phone number, and exactly what I do. That I do weddings, I do parties, so they know a list of everything I do. Of course, they call and they ask their questions or how can it be done. But having that card with you, being making sure you're using all your social media platforms the right way, because like I said, the Lord can get in your DMs and the next business opportunity can get in your DMs as well. So just whenever I would post different things, that was how, okay, I posted like when I finally did a photo shoot and I posted it. The Big DM radio station, shout out to Jeffrey Lampkin, who is like on fire here in South Carolina. He's a chef. When I think Jill Scott came to town, he cooked for her. He's cooked for I think some political people. He's always doing something. But he was like, "Oh, I love your pictures," and he started playing my song "Still Real" on the Big DM. And then the next like month, like maybe 3 months or so, then that's when I got on their big women's expo. And then after that, then Seven Sunday calls after that. But it was like everything you do, you're auditioning for the next thing. Now it's like you have to be mindful of that, but that can't be your motive, because then it gets kind of funky when you do stuff from the wrong place. So it's kind of like
Mm.
just positioning yourself. And then too, like I said, victory is my mentor, and victory is always like in music, Clarice, the return is not fast. So whatever you did 2 years ago, you may see a return on that 2 years moving forward. Like maybe, and that's how it happened. Just kind of like people, it was weird because some people, I got a call from one lady, and she had like this children's fashion show. It was like Wakanda. Oh Lord, was the Black River Wakanda, because that's the area it was in, and that was a nonprofit had gotten behind it, but they wanted me to sing, and she's like, she thought out, she's like, I know it's gonna be expensive, but we always want you to do it. And I'm like, I didn't know that they were watching me all this time, but people are. Now let me tell you, you might not be Beyonce yet, ladies, but eyes are on you. Wherever you're at, somebody is watching you. They are. They checking for your style. They checking for your energy. They have plans for you. And
Woo!
so just always being ready. When the Bible talks about be ye ready, just it's really take, like I said, take care of all, get centered first. Because
Yes.
if you already got that peace inside, they never gonna catch you off guard. Because you always gonna be, you good inside here. So you always, it's gonna be fine. But if you trying to reach for just all these things that you think you need but you don't, it's not gonna work out. You because you might give out the wrong thing. But like I said, it was just things that it started from church stuff, and then I know I'm talking, I had gotten a consultant, and that's when I rebranded and did the photo shoot, and then that's when the guy from the radio, he communicated with me. That was from Instagram. I do remember he was from Instagram. So did I answer your question? Because I
I
know I
love
said,
it. Yeah, no, you definitely answered the question. And I love everything you said, right? You started off with talking about business cards. It's important, ladies,
yes.
and that's what I teach in my courses, in my classes. I teach you guys to carry around your business card. You never know who's going to need your services. Posting on social media, consistency on social media. Like Miss Clarice said, you never know who is watching. And trust me, they're watching, okay?
They
They are
are.
watching, right? So check your DMs, reach out to other people who are doing the same thing as you, entrepreneurs, and do some collaborations, right? That's going to help expand your business growth where you can get new clients and new leads. Hey, now
Because
before we
I
close,
want to apologize. So when y'all see me turning, I'm not being this
I
little
want
person.
ginger water.
Okay, there you go.
I
Pause.
love it.
All right, now go back. Go back.
Okay, I want.
I love it.
Sorry,
I
I just
love it.
wanted you to
I
know.
love
I didn't
it.
want you to think he was whispering to me. That's what. Go ahead.
No. Most of my audience are mothers, right? So we
Okay.
love it. We love it. Like we love it. So I want to ask you this, right? And then we're gonna close out. Now
Okay.
you're a mom, an entrepreneur. You work in corporate America. You got your networking thing going. You have a lot going for yourself, right? So how do you balance this life? And a lot of the things that we talk about in my classes is self care and self love. And the biggest thing is self preservation, right? And we only serve when our cup is overflowing, right? And because sometimes I used to serve and I used to get burnout being an entrepreneur. I used to get entrepreneur burnout and I literally could do nothing. I'd be like, I'm done. Don't nobody call, text, nothing. So I had to create boundaries around my entire life, family, friends, business, everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
for you, how do you create balance in your life?
Ooh, let's all breathe. Y'all, but you know what? This season of my life has been the busiest ever. I've never been this busy, and I'm like, okay, thank you, God, because I prayed for moments like these. But it's like getting what you pray for, that harvest time. Okay, my birthday. One thing that I intentionally did this, like, my friends were like, what do you want to do? You want to go on a girls trip? I was like, no, I don't. I love y'all. I don't need a girls trip this time. I went on a spa day. And when I tell y'all that massage table that the lady had, the nice warm table, like I went to one that was just let's take it up a notch. And you have to make time by yourself, that solitude, because you need to hear your own thoughts sometimes and take control of them too. But the intentionally planning just a day to yourself, even if all you do is go eat at Chick-fil-A and look out the window and jot down things in your journal, but you did it by yourself. Nobody was rushing you. When the kids are in school, you can just make time, even if it's only an hour, and it was an hour within a 7-day week, because you got your 5-day work week, or if you have just our calendar 7 days. But if it was just that 7-day week and I just had just an hour to myself, it seemed like that helped me balance, or kind of just get myself together. Because when you go into all these meetings, and I signed up, I think I took 2 classes. I took a leadership class and a business class. And I think I'm good on classes until next year because it went my schedule, but I needed the information. But just like I would spread stuff out. I know we all are on the winning team. We got that DJ Khaled. All I do is win. But winning too is really getting a pace. Like, don't win it all in May. Win some in July too. Win some, save some for November, so that this has been my prayer too. God, I want to enjoy my wins. Like, we do all this work and we invest in ourselves and our children, our sisters, the people around us, our friends, or your students. But I want to pace it so that I enjoy the win and I didn't have my head 10 other places, and I didn't even see what happened. Because that happened before too. Like, it was like other people were like, you don't realize how far you come. And I didn't realize because I was so busy. And I was like, I don't want that to happen again. I want to enjoy when something happens. I want to enjoy the moment. Because you don't get these moments back. They happen, one time, and it's hard to recreate them. So
I
just like
love that.
pacing yourself. Do y'all hear the train? I live right by a
I
train
love
track.
that.
So if
I
y'all hear
love.
that, please excuse.
Oh, it's okay. I love the fact that you said enjoy your wins. And one of the big takeaways that I got was she said pace yourself, right? So don't get so caught up in I need to get this done, I need to get that done. What I teach my students, 3 things a day, ladies. 3 things a day, 3 things from your personal life and 3 things from your business, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
get so caught up in this to-do list. I need to do this and get this done, right? You have so much time ahead of you. It is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
And like she said, what you do today, you're going to reap maybe 2 years from now. So be patient throughout the process. So we want to thank you, Miss Clarice, for being on the show today. This has been phenomenal.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so much. And we're going to put all of her information a little bit after the show so you guys can go to her event or sponsor or make a $10 donation to serve.
me.
Okay? Let's
And maybe I
give.
can be a part of stuff you ladies have going on, or get to know more of the ladies. I don't know. I know you're coaching. Do you have yearly, what's something you have, an event that you have going
Well, I do I do a lot of different events, right? So on Mondays we have our meditations, group meditations. Every month we have our Bible study, and right now we're actually reading the book Women Who Pray, and it is amazing by TD Jakes. And then I have a 6-week course, and it's called Equipped for Life, and it's really about doing the inner work and digging real deep and getting to the root of like your anxiety and depression, and how to overcome fear and to move your life forward. And then I have a 12-week course, and it's called The Power of Focus. And in that course, it's more so I'm putting together a marketing strategy, a business plan, and we're really doing exercises that help you execute and stay in action. Because what I've learned is without accountability, a lot of entrepreneurs do not stay in action. I do a lot of finances in that course where we talk about your personal finances, because a lot of entrepreneurs, like you said, we're overspending, right? So I get down to the root of starting with your personal finances. A lot of people don't have a monthly abundance budget, right? They don't even know how much they're spending monthly. So I really help women to learn like where the gaps are in their business and in their lives to help them progress and improve and move forward.
Thank you. That is.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And bye, ladies. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.